course I did, because I'm very smart. Very smart indeed, aren't I? Okay then. Late. Late just by almost 2 hours, but this was eventually not how I planned it, but then I can actually start. I have been busy preparing stuff. You will see stuff, but for the moment we'll go conquest. But since I kinda figured I like to do it in a bit more precise way, in order to do so, I have been thinking, and I will just basically throw a bloody coin. Simple? Yes. But workable. So basically, I'm going to throw 2 coins. One is between the, well, you know, the ones without favor. The other is going to be the very much red chorus, because, you know, can't be bothered to call them by their name, those bloody idiots. The disfavored entity Charlotte. Charlotte? Was it a Charlotte? Well, now I'm confused. I confused myself, but oh well, not the first time. Let's say between the chorus and the disfavored, and the second one will be between actually following them, or, you know, being a bit of a neutral cunt, because that's technically what I should be. Well, but and, you know, would be boring. Let us do that. So, conquest again. Now with the right character. That's what that means. I will actually have to read.
The world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's
We have gone through this already.
In the early
I know. So we're gonna go into the first year of conquest. And then I need my little so. During conquest, you will decide to purchase actions. So, oh, come on, you be a bit faster here, be a bit faster. I would like to actually get into the game so that I can start reading a lot, because for some bloody reason, now I'm not much of a fan of sending up and reading text to people, and for some bloody reason I decide to play RPGs, which have a lot of text. That technically speaking, to make it somewhat nice, you should probably read. Why am I doing that to myself? Oh well, it doesn't matter. Well, that's once again the Bastard City, aptly named. Yeah. Okay. Well, the Bastard City is basically a very important center of commerce for the so-called, what was it, Tiers, which is the area we're in. And, well, of course, from, you know, the Empire's point of view, it's basically nothing. Some backwater nonsense city, but that's gonna be the first city we have to take. Now, as per yesterday, we know we have to make choices, and our choices will always be between the disfavored and discarded chorus, which is a problem. Now comes my little coin throw. Where have I put you? Where did I put you? So, let's do it easy. Heads will be the disfavored, and discarded chorus will be on the other side. Little coin, little coin. I said heads as disfavored, then that's discarded chorus. Well, that is sad. So at least for this time, we'll be Scarlet Chorus, but I will make a second coin throw. Decide our further course. And oh well, the Scarlet Chorus won. That's impressive, actually. Oh well. I guess we're gonna be Scarlet Chorus all the way then. Because, you know, when I flip a coin and the coin says, yeah, I'm gonna be Scarlet Chorus now, then I'm gonna be Scarlet Chorus now. Why is that interesting? Because I can see myself purchasing the New Game Plus button in the near future, when I finish this, and playing this again from the other side. So basically it's not a end of. But for the moment we're gonna be Scarlet Chorus apparently. So let's see if we can find something interesting here. So well, we wanna do this yada yada yada. This was the one where we infiltrate before the battle. We can do this with the raiding parties. Then we have the Gates of Judgment. Took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, and we can either go, you rushed with the chaotic method of the Scarlet Chorus, flanked the bastard army and drove them to flee. Do we want to be part of a raiding party? Well, I guess we're gonna start like this then. Well, the Scarlet Chorus, eh? That's gonna be interesting. The howling mobs of the Scarlet Chorus found easy pickings among the villages and frontier towns. Rallying an experienced gang under your control, you flooded the unprotected settlements with a deluge of bloodthirsty soldiers, rounding up the innocent for merciless rites of conscription. Yay, the young and infirm alike received makeshift weapons, and examples were made of all who challenged your forces. Also with fresh recruits, your army gathered strength for the invasion to come. As you can already tell from this alone, playing pretty much on the side of the Scarlet Chorus is gonna be fun. In the bloody, very bloody way. That's what happens when you let things up to fate. And fate didn't even give me the nice way out of actually playing neutral, but no. Scarlet Chorus is gonna be all the way. Now then, what would then profit the Scarlet Chorus? Because if I'm on their side, I'm gonna do this. Fucking good, believe you me. Inside Agent. Mission captured by your disfavored allies. They are not my allies. Rule the head of Kairos armies. So I have the option of going... Well, that's not an option, so you came to arrangements with a well-connected smuggler. Behind the city walls. We were better operative than soldiers, and this worked quite a subtle touch. So okay, I can either get a few of our agents inside, or... There's a meeting of the voices of Nerat. That kind of choice was cruel and mysterious interrogation techniques. The mages were never seen again. Voices of Nerat. Known in his official capacity as the Archon of Secrets, the Voices of Nerat is equal parts genius and madman. Rumors about that he can steal the minds of others, though few, if any, are alive to confirm as much. The subject of such interrogation are never heard from again. The Archon is able to recall the memories of his victims with startling accuracy. I kinda feel like I've sworn my name and my banner to a very, very strange personage. Multiple persons? I don't even know what he's supposed to be. But he wears a funny hat, that much I do know. Oh, do we want fire mages under the control of T, or do we want to get smugglers in? I actually think this is going to do much more damage, but much more helpful for the Scarlet Chorus. There were few who could describe what horrors the Archon of Secrets visited upon his enemies during the conquest. Whether the elder mages knew little of the Archon's reputation, or met with him out of curiosity, yikes, didn't matter. Once the flap of the Archon's tent closed, none of them were heard from again, save for a strangled cry of alarm, ended just as swiftly. Leaderless, the School of Wild Wrath fell into disorder, and their remaining members were slain by the disfavored or conscripted into the Scarlet Chorus. We do a lot of damage. Betrayal of the Bastard City. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the Bastard City, ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city defenses for the arrival of Kairos forces. You wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall of the Bastard City? Yeah. You see, originally we had three choices. The disfavored lost in the first coin flip, and the neutral option lost in the second coin flip, so now we are full on Scarlet Chorus. Spreading the word of Kairos, you converted the poor and disaffected into a hidden army of the Scarlet Chorus. Once the dust settled, the army wished to bolster their troops with the sleeper cells. Ah, you're in palm. Seat it in your hands and release it onto a foe. The target ignites in flames, burning over time. That sounds magnificent. Very magnificent. Didn't take much to convince the Bastard Cities downtrodden that Kairos was the superior power. Well, I mean, look out of your window and you see that huge army outside. Yeah, that's my buddies, you know. I probably don't want to fight that. You have them with weapons and knowledge of a signal you would raise when the time was right. As the armies appeared outside the walls, you ignited a spark that fanned their anger into a full-scale riot. The chaos they spread in Kairos' name weakened the city to such an extent that it was inevitable for but a formality. Bum, bum, bum. I mean, you know, considering that the Scarlet Chorus is basically a mob, a giant army-sized mob, it is pretty efficient at what it's doing. I mean, to be fair, it's an oversimplification, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say. Well then, now, you know, I do like to make it like this. I make a decision, I stay with my decision. I like it. Now then, the Master City settled into a new state of normalcy, a very tower displaying Kairos' banner. Your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Excuse me. Junon sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as judge and overseer, of the settlement of Lycian's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. You may choose only one of these locations. In the pursuit of the settlement of Lycian's Crossing is strategic war asset. Kairos sent the Forgebound, smith mages of exceptional skill to establish a flow of weaponry. Tyranny the Adjudicator sent one of his Fatebinders, which is us truly, to ensure the enforcement of Kairos law, or Apex. The troops of the mountain realm of Apex stood idle in the safety of the valley, biding their time as their neighbors in the bastard tier fell. Second year of war, a joint force of disfavored and Scarlet Corners crossed over the mountains to take control of the tier's central valley. I don't really care overly much, but Lycian's Crossing seems nice also because it's, you know, kinda central, I suppose. Where is that? Here? Yeah, okay. So that's Apex. Quite central, that's nice. And that's Lycian's Crossing. I mean, last time I chose Lycian's Crossing and I kinda liked it. Also, we kinda got that, what was it? That special singing lady. See something? I want to say serious, but that sounds wrong. Let's do this again. She. 429. Tier 2 of Kairos Conquest. We gonna be city boy now again. How you can manage a city when you are on a Kairos Coastal side is interesting. Years ago, Leafy the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of ancient old wars. Pact between the settlers and the mercenary company meant that caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane. The town thrived in modest insignificance. Great. Lycian's Crossing drew Kairos' attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kairos' control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine or arm the disfavored with the finest weapon in the known world. The Archon of Secrets dismantled mercenary support with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in a bloodless victory. When dispatched you to travel alongside Kairos' forces to bring order to the region. And so we shall bring chaos. What do we have an options? The Cult of Cyrene. Cyrene was it, wasn't it? Iron must flow. Cyrene, Archon of Song, used the arcane chain to lure locals into joining Kairos' army. As a patroness of the Scarlet Chorus, her efforts were critical to the conscription of new recruits. When an enthralled disfavored soldier joined the cult, his company feared that the action was growing out of control and needed to be stopped. In Scarlet Chorus tradition, you sent the latest batch of cultists to the front lines of the Apex campaign. Those who survived were welcome to remaining Kairos military, and their performance would stand as testimony to Cyrene's effectiveness. The Scarlet Chorus agreed to transfer Cyrene's latest recruits to the front lines of the Apex campaign. Your resolution fit their traditional model of conscription, though they considered it a fair alternative. In the weeks to come, more of them returned to active duty than even Cyrene herself expected, likely owing to their obsessive devotion to the Archon and her enchanting music. Putting it very, very mildly, that means we have a bunch of guys who probably have a giant hard-on for that Cyrene, and should be surprised how motivating that can be to come back alive. Especially since, you know, life in that situation do tend to remind people of their lesser instincts. Let's just say. Nice, isn't it? So far, so good. We have a bunch of money boys now. A red anvil. Forgebound mage swore allegiance to the Scarlet Chorus, creating strife between the armies. Ancient threats, who protected the city from the attacks of arcane predators. Used most of the iron that came out from this, and it fell to them to stand the situation protectors. Enjoyed a necessary reprieve. Aww. Highlighted the secrets of iron. Be granted only to dismiss measures. You ruled that the new recruits might be erased of all memory. Doesn't sound as fun. Drawn to arcane jam around the fortress, mystical predators from the nearby old walls begin to raid Lycian's Crossing at all hours. Most of Kairos' armies reserved their strength for the front lines of the war, and yet the city required protection. You had to delegate the responsibility somewhere. Actually, it is a fair argument. They disfavored wanting all the weapons, and then they should also do the protection. That has nothing to do with our allegiance. Though the disfavored were averse to your ruling, they couldn't argue with the reasoning behind it. See? They rallied in the streets of Lycian's Crossing, patrolling on alert and shifts that lasted day and night in an impressive show of force. They managed to repel several attacks from the predators in districts that would have otherwise suffered great harm. Able to do some good, the disfavored still detested you for keeping them from the battle with their real enemy in the tears. Well, you can hate me, but you know I'm fucking right at what I'm doing. Who controlled the crossing? Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the Voices of Narat injured a Forgeborn Letition, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Tunor ordered the mercenaries to leave the city in the hands of Kairos' more responsible servants. Only a token garrison could be left behind while the armies returned to the front. The disfavored and Scarlet Coast showed increasing tension and hostility about each other. Tunor decreed it best that only one force control the crossing. Who controls the crossing? You granted control of Lycian's crossing to the Scarlet Coast. I mean, they already have their Archon of Song there, going like, yay, horny boys, come to me. Which works like a charm. I always wondered, you know, why do armies of the world don't use nicey looking women to recruit? That would work fucking well, wouldn't it? You would also have to lower the age to 16 or so. Would work bloody well. The Scarlet Coral has floated Lycian's crossing with over-eager and undisciplined recruits. The first few days of occupation settlers suffered under rampant theft, murder, rape, and arson, which is the usual. The following week, the horsemen who sought chaos for personal gain were dead, strung up by more disciplined half that took up the reins at the self-appointed bosses of Lycian's crossing. The Forgeborn continued to mint iron weapons and armor, which Kairos merchants carted to the favored garrisons elsewhere in the tiers. Shipments were light or sometimes absent. The Scarlet Coast quartermaster claimed ignorance on the matter. Of course. Of course he would do that. None were any wiser. Problem is, I have 3 choices. I mean, technically speaking, I could play this game 3 times. One, like we do now, with Scarlet Chorus. Then we could play quite honestly and quite disciplined on the disfavored side. And then we could go for a more neutral one. We can go through every bloody choice here. It would be interesting. But we'll see. It's far for the future because I do believe this game is rather long. Memory serves. But with the mercenaries expelled and Lycian's crossing under new leadership, Kairos' fathers congratulated themselves and patted themselves on the backs and be like, well, greatly done. Never mind the knives everybody held in the other hand. Bringing order to the settlement and guaranteeing a productive flow of resources. Wink wink, happy implication. Over the course of the diversion, the army front advanced further into the tiers. Your skills were needed in the realm of Azure, Starwood, or the Vellum Citadel. And we burned this last time, and I do like the idea because the crimson symbol of the curls kinda reminds me of fire, so we're gonna burn the Vellum Citadel again. Because yes, I like being called Firebringer. Firestarter, was it? Yes, they called me a Firestarter, didn't they? I don't know why I find that so bloody funny, but I find that bloody funny. Mostly because, well, way quick when the red edition of Pokemon came out, I do like the Firestarter Pokemon. Whatever his name was. My naming memory is fucking horrible. Vellum Citadel. The Vellum Citadel. And we can get a lot more information about that. It was an archive library of massive scale. Its humans were known as the School of Ink and Quill. A circle of magic that centuries ago carved out their own mountainous refugee of lands unsettled by the other major realms. Legend said that the Citadel housed a treasure trove of arcane knowledge. Nice. The Overlord spies infiltrated the school and confirmed as much. The time was ripe to send a detachment to the Great Library Fortress and force scholars to yield to Kairos. Good. What do we have here? Song of Ensnarment. Syrian song ensnared some stealthy sages. Chain of command. Peaceful surrender turned bloody. Kairos' army march on orderly surrender. Blast of arcane energy struck the commanders dead. Jesus Christ. You ordered the favor to advance the shield wall, knowing that a handful of Kairos elite soldiers could hold off an attack until the Scarlet retreated. You know, this fate would despise you for any less of this kind of events. It was a small price to pay for saving lives. Yes, this sounds more fun. Syrian again. And I like Syrian, I don't know why. That bitch is pretty damn good at what she's doing. Round enemy mages will crept beyond the citadel walls. After the forces surrounded up their account practitioners, the Inspector began executing the new captives. Well, great. Prime Minister with the Scarlet Chorus. Punished the favor for executing mages bound to the Scarlet Chorus, ordering that several disfavored soldiers be given to the Archer, I think, some bodyguards. Which is only fair, because, you know, you can't just murder them. Wisdom of the sages and knowledge of the Realm Citadel were too important to the silence. They favored bulk at entering the Archon service, but your ruling left them with no recourse. Archon Tyranny delighted in having new toys to play with, and promptly installed her personal guard. You spotted them in camp days later, following their new mistress with wide-eyed devotion. Which means she's pretty good at what she's doing. The Spymaster's agents, special rules and sages surrendered. Right of command, Zero composed songs of strength, and provoked bloody slaughter. Incited Scarlet Cross records to fight their leaders. Bosses were killed and supplemented left and right. This favor demanded an end to the practice for the good of the conquest. He ruled that each Archon had the right to govern their armies according to their nature. The right of command bred chaos, but it also ensured that the strongest rise to lead. Of course. Your keen understanding of the ways. Yes. Pleased and surprised, discarded Chorus detachment. Thank you for the ruling. The following evening, 2 gang bosses were murdered in their battles and replaced by stronger variants, who fought hard to defend their status. Though the camp grew quiet over time, the Crows fought with twice the ferocity under new leadership, because everybody feared for their lives. Don't worry. The Edict of Fire, there it is again. Disgusted by her approbation of the Tyranny Chorus, disfavored forces withdrew from the field of battle. A small detachment now lacked the manpower to take the Willem Citadel. To not send word that Kyrus' patient had run thin, the Overlord would cast an Edict of Fire on the enemy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron. Written on it, the words of a spell powerful enough to destroy the Velum Citadel. You had the choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning of the devastation to come. But also wait until sunset, giving them ample time to flee or make amends. Claiming to still spies within the Citadel, the Scarlet Chorus urged you to warn the mages of the Overlord's edict. Granting their request, you met with the enemy under a blue flag of peace and warned them of their doom, giving the Chorus spies and the enemy a chance to run. Confronted the mages with a warning, and hoped the message was received. The hour before sunset, numerous figures were spotted fleeing the Citadel. As the sun dipped under the horizon, it read the words of the edict. The earth shook. Red-orange light glowed in the foundation of the sprawling Citadel. Bubbling up from under the library, a torrent of lava heaved with explosive force, gushing from windows and between loose bricks, melting winding trenches in the surrounding land. Days later, the flames still raged on, the conflagration continually fed and renewed by the power of the edict. Nice, I have made a fire that is probably not going to run out of power for quite a while. Up. I'm awesome at destroying the environment, apparently. The Edict of Fire. The armies of Kyrus left the devastation of the Willem Citadel in silence. From that day forward, the Tears came to know the once noble citadel as the Burning Library. This was an undisputed loss of resources, knowledge, culture, and life, but a message had been sent. The Overlord will not tolerate defiance. It didn't have long to rest before Tuno called you into service once more. You were one of the last to depart from the mountains. As you journeyed off, you spotted a few campfires in the mountains. They were mere specks, dwarfed by the inferno, the last gasps of survivors. Perhaps looters from Kyrus' armies bored and daring enough to pick through the ashes. Dum dum dum. Conquest complete. You have reached the end of Kyrus' conquest. Do you want to continue or raise your progress and start over? Continue. We have made our choice. The coin has decided, and if the coin decides, I shall follow through. I never go back on my word once I give it. You know, as long as I can actually avoid it. So this is going to be then our proper start, now that we did the conquest, and I can finally drink something and do something for my poor little throat. Also, why is that bloody statue actually crying blood? Is there a raw reason for that, or is it just because, you know, it looks stylish?
The year is 431.
Excuse me, you need to do
Kyros's
something.
invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers.
Mm-hmm.
The younger realms, the bastard tier, the free cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle or bowed in surrender.
Pretty smart of them.
The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus,
Yay!
now control our lands.
We have clearly shown on which side we are.
But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely.
Oh yes, and you have no idea just how much bloody murder that is going to bring upon you people.
Have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault.
Honestly, this is a very bad situation. I mean, the disfavored are all the honorable kind of warrior guy. So, you know, they're probably just for your dishonorable behavior gonna murder you outright. On the other hand, the Scarlet Chorus, they're not gonna care that you murdered them. They're just gonna be pissed off. That means they're gonna send a raging mob into your cities, which is far worse than what the disfavored will do, because the disfavored will kill your soldiers. The Scarlet Chorus will probably kill your, well, everything. Woman, child, pigs, sheep. I mean, I can understand the sheep. I'm personally on a bit of a sheep genocide quest in Gothic, but it's another story for another day. Yeah. I sure hope that you have thought long and hard about that decision, because you're gonna regret that.
With their main forces spread across the tiers, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle.
Which is fucking surprising, honestly. Don't really think you need that many troops to deal with those fucking rebels.
And wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers.
I guess what's really binding them is the fact that they are both a bit afraid that the other would probably fall into the back. Hey, it's the sandwich bag! Good evening! I do apologize for being quite a bit later than I had planned originally, but good to see you.
The Overlord is not amused.
Well, it's Kairos. He's never amused.
And Kairos has one message for the Archons. Crush the Oathbreakers or die.
Ah, he's such a nice Overlord.
Kairos backs this threat with an edict. A magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored.
Well, I know. I once did it and I already did the fire.
Fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons.
Which is quite funny, because that means that even for Fitband, I think it's rather rare that somebody gets to read an edict, and I get to read it. 2 edicts. Which means me a fire starter and a murder starter.
As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you.
Ah. Good, bad.
You are trapped in Vendrian's Well. With
Still, no, why that thing, excuse me, why that thing is actually crying blood.
The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict.
Also, I learned.
Any way that you can.
I will show you. I made a few changes to the character to make it even more obvious. I'll show you in a second. Yeah, that bloody statue. I don't know how and I don't know why you're crying, but through you. Yes. See, I have my picture again. Little dim. Do I have? Yes, I have. Welcome to Terratus, the first visit to the world of Tyranny. Watch for these windows to help you become familiar. See, I have a little picture, I have a big picture again, I have everything again. Also, I have now 2 weapons in 2 variants. Basically, we're going full bloody 2-weapon nonsense. Let's see where that is going to go. Let's see, I guess. Rook, letters, and a feelings. Oh, so soldier. Kairos, the Overlord be praised. When you heard the avalanche, I feared the valley was healed with you on the other side. This favor will collapse a gauntlet to my breastplate, the traditional salute of Fell Legion. That's a Roman salute, isn't it? That just something thing. We're told a fate bind was coming, and the commanders will not say why. It seems obvious. Graven Ash and Voice of the North can argue on nothing. I can agree on nothing. It's the standard one I use basically all the bloody time. I also have a standard male variant. Least of all battle plans, wipe out the Oathbreakers. I trust you bring orders from Tunon that will break this deadlock. Can you hear the harmony? Drowned rocks, the avalanche is Kairos magic, the Overlord has sealed the valley. Your senses see more than mine, good fate binder. You pretend to know much about such things. I just imagine you're important business. Not to be any kind of secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kairos have in store for the enemy? 10 years of festering plague, an edict of twisted bounds. I'm gonna hurry to deliver a message to the Archons. When you've traveled a long way, you won't get you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you. The voice was silent, his attention snapping eastward with alarm. Did you hear that? It was like conversations involve you, another character, and sometimes additional parties. You don't say, game. I know what a bloody conversation is. Your character includes skills, history, and gender, as well as decisions you made in the conquest may all open up options for you in dialogue. And conversations, you will often see the names of important characters and more runners. Third time this week, the Outbreakers keep trying to send messengers through the mountains to gather help from outside the valley. They can't forget that because that thing just collapsed. It's a bit too late for that now. Come on, let's show these Outbreakers a good fight. There is my pause button. Also, I will actually, since it's sometimes hard, yeah, I'm not trying to change the difficulty game, but it's sometimes kind of hard to do that. Action, show combat tooltips, auto, show related to that is not what I'm looking for. Yes, show reputation. That is exactly it. Because I really don't want to piss off the people I just said I will actually be on. Area loot radius. Make that bigger. Usually I don't really like doing that, but in this case I'll actually do it. Because otherwise I'm probably going to combat. Possible real-time combat. Yes, Fate Binder. Your character can always perform basic attacks. One of your character's abilities and spells can be accepted. Ability, choose ability, left ability icon. Game is like, wow. I'm gonna give you the very standard stuff. Characters in the game. Beautiful. 5 defenses and accuracy. Therefore, possible results. Hit, critical, hit, grace, and miss. So basically like Pillars of Eternity. And what do we have? We have Searing Palm, we have the Cleave ability, we have the Sunder ability, and we have the Thrust ability. Good. Let's Sunder that Honor Guard guy. Takes forever to load. Boom. And then we can do that Thrust, isn't it? Yeah, Thrust. Now use that strange ability we got because we like to do that. Burn, little one. Burn, little one. Come on, murder him. I know you can do it. That's one down. Let's check further along the path. Little points, level up. Did I actually level up from that? Take on. Run! We should be vigilant and deal with the remaining Outbreakers in the pass. Seems like a suicide mission. What do you get? These. Seems like, yeah, actually, let's ask why they try to murder themselves. We will learn from the other prisoners. The runners are instructed to escape the valley and drum up support from the Outbreakers' cause. So that's their general idea. I don't know what they think they'll listen to their place. We've smashed every army, fortress, and self-proclaimed ruler this low volunteersmen have to offer. And still they rose up in rebellion. My. Welp. Disfavored game miner. Yeah, we are not gonna be on the disfavored side. We're gonna piss off the disfavored as far as we can. Too much only destroyed the tears. We wouldn't be having this current problem. We have no lies. We had a lot of ground to cover, and that seems to accept the surrender. Deep into the tears. Well, no use arguing strategies of just say your day. That's actually a good point. How much longer did I reach the Archons? Almost to your destination. Once we clear the path of the enemy, just head south down the foothills. Yeah, carry on. Now we can do this again. Yes, we can. Move it. Like, that's something I really like.
Right.
Just run in there.
Trouble is afoot.
Now we can use this. Can we actually hit? No, we can't hit everyone. And just thrust into his back again. Yeah, I guess it would make actually more sense to sunder his armor beforehand so that we can do more damage. Yeah. It looks kind of cool though. I mean, you know, this game has a nice look, a bit different from... Well, a bit is a an understatement. Quite different from how Pillars of Eternity, for example, looks. But then again, I'm not saying it looks bad, mind you.
I got it.
Different is not bad. Not in my books, at least. Yeah, well, don't bother with me. Go down to the pass. And Rustus, the soldier clutches his gut and winces. The hint of threads between his fingers. Yeah. I don't have time for this. God, Cravenash is with me! Cravenash! You have a lot of belief in that, man.
Can't do that.
You can and you will. 10 points. Each community has their own territories. Are you telling me? Recreation? Ah, right, this one. I kinda remember that. That's kinda cool. Leadership. Oh yeah, leadership is... I'm probably gonna go for something like a paladin build again, so a bit of leadership is probably gonna be around. And what else do we have? Agility, range, magic, defense, power. Power seems like a pretty damn natural choice. It's armor penetration. Huh? It's armor penetration to the trust ability. Oh, right. There's actually something I forgot, but let's see that's right. Yes. You see, every bloody tree, the leadership, defense, power, and I think magic and range and everything it does too, actually adds as a tier 1, adds something to your little trust ability, your thrust ability. And that can make your thrust ability quite interesting. Because you can basically give it all of the nonsense you can potentially have. I think actually, if they haven't patched it, every last one of them is actually applied to your ability, which makes that one absolutely horrendously fun. Desiccated corpses. Lined road, victory, tolerance well, an example of the fate that awaits those who resist Kyber's will. Oh yes. Path behind you is now blocked. And since we still have not yet read that nonsense edict, we have all the time in the world to look around. Are you lost? No. Jump down, jump down. I will not gain a wound for that. Screw you, game! I don't think I have the lore for that. Drop possesses enormous grooves. It otherwise appears fairly ordinary. Take all the nonsense, da-dee-da-doo. Climb up again. I kinda do wonder though, climbing down a rope is actually, well, as far as I remember, and mind you, in the time I had to do something like this is quite a while ago, actually not that hard. Climbing up a rope can be a bit harder, actually. I mean, it kinda depends. If it's, for example, a free swinging rope, then yeah, going down is a lot easier. Ancient Weeping Mother statue. Pays homage to the Queen Licarius, first of her name. Fresh water once flowed from the statue, but when Carus's forces attacked Virgin's Well in 429, it's been weeping blood. It has done so ever since. And that explains why. Not so much, but at least what's going on. Why though? What colored the water red? I wonder. Several skulls, bleached by the sun, picked clean by carrion birds, aspect on roughly hewn post. Well, yeah, I can see as much game. Worms. You and me are going to be...
Try and catch me, worm.
Scarlet Furies are the elite fighters. Impressive graceful attacks and murderous persistence. James are found amongst the vanguard of battle, and the brutal displays of skill inspire bloodlust in the masses, and fear in the enemy. Jesus. Something didn't want it to go down where it should go. A young Scalperia. You surround the Venturing Guard attackers. Avoiding the weapons with fluid grace, she nods to acknowledge you. Process and Michelle replies a glance to her countryman. This one's crazy! Too much lead in her water. Should cut her loss and turn back, says the sun soldier.
Harbinger. Still standing after 3 years of war. Come join me in battle once again. We'll show these children how
War
it's
before
done.
they judge it. You elected to join the forward elements of Scandal. Ah. Okay. Join the battle. Save something for me. For the realm of Apex charge.
Look at that, future
I shall.
corpse.
That was a nice one. Hey, look at that, future corpse. Brave it. I believe in you. Brave it. Do you have AI going? Yes, you have probably.
I see you there.
I guess I can let her just run freely for the moment. I mean, this is basically tutorial level. She shouldn't get murdered. I hope.
I got it.
Ouch. You fool! Whoop. I shall sunder your weapon. I shall sunder your armor. Sunder your weapon would be rather impressive because that means your weapon is done. Broken.
Phew. I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent.
Oh, what gave it away? Bloody fucking big sword on my back. The war mace I have in my inventory somewhere. Just tell me. I'll work on it. If I deserve fresh corpses and not with satisfaction.
I'm Verse, by the way.
You just said we fought
There are
together.
more
I'm pretty sure that
important
I know
things to
your
take care
name.
of than introductions. Those Vendrian guard we killed didn't come alone.
GG's this Judy skirmish unfolding in the pass below. Checking ahead. What are you doing
The
here?
voices of Nerat told me to intercept you at Edgering Ruins before you busied yourself solving all of the camp's problems. Guess I was too late.
Well, yeah, I kinda think the problems found me.
You're due for a meeting with the Archons, but we should handle the small matter of this ambush first.
Oh, why the fuck are the Vendrian Guard actually attacking now? Tell me more.
I guess the Vendrian guard are testing our strength in battle, learning how we perform before they organize a real offensive. That or they're really, really desperate to get beyond the mountains and couldn't wait until nightfall.
Oh, too late for that. You fight like a storm. What's your role in the
A
army?
Scarlet Fury, one of the elite killers of our ignoble gang.
Don't worry,
You'll see
we've
more
already
than a few
read
of us
that.
around camp, but don't let that fool you. We're a rare breed.
Mhm.
Most of the soldiers in the Scarlet Chorus are little more than farmers and children armed with rusted forks. Makes them easier to control.
Yeah, but also makes them a very, very bad army. Oh
The
well.
voices of Nerat called his best fighters to this siege. There must be something important about Vendrian's well, though don't ask me what.
You didn't ask the voices
Archon
of
isn't in the
Nerat.
habit of spilling secrets.
You don't say. The Archon of Secrets. They're not in the habit of spitting secrets. My, Miss. You have a talent for the obvious, don't you? Join the battle. I'm ready if you are.
I like that.
Hmm.
Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching.
Occurs in the years of the Northern Conquest. The currency. Ah, it's a currency. Ah, right. The currency is called rings, and they are. Yes, I remember this now. I see your point. Nice and practical.
No reason to pity the fallen. Before long, we might wish we'd joined them here.
No, honestly, actually,
least
I
we'll
am
enjoy
of
heavy
the
pockets and
precise
warm
opinion. The
clothes.
dead don't really care much, and especially on a battlefield. Oh, we need the resources a lot more.
For the voices of Nerat!
First of all, focuses down on the battle to come. She said first plunder them, and then she's like, but
I got
no, now I'm going to look at battle and be like, no, battle it is. She's strange. She's a bit of a strange one, isn't she? Well then, down we go. And now it's this time again. Tarkus Demos. You have a name, my friend. Eyes forward, no looking back. Ringard very rose with his folks held high. His wards largely lost over the din of combat. Folks is an enduring symbol of military life in the TS, adapted from the agrarian skies of Azure. The Scourgeblade was in ages past the weapon of peasants forced into battle. The Senority nobles of Apex took a liking to the weapon, and it has since become the weapon all serious Vendrian Guard warriors endeavor to master. Great. Great to know. Stand aside, or your funeral will be over the side of the love. Bum bum bum. Seeing you squarely in his past, the social points has weapon your way. Well, since I'm not really here to be, diplomatic, and I'm clearly chosen my path, there's no neutral option here. There's no escape. Sorry. You're gonna die. With bronze. I prefer steel. Thank you very much. Josh! Scarlet Cold reinforcements! Hurry! Render the Oathbreakers. Let none escape. Red mob of reinforcements from this house. A blood chanter emerges. Oh, that sounds nice. Launch a crest of her stuff, pulled in with crimson tones. Seeing sigil of magic and wordlessly moving command of the blood chanter. Possess series of spells into the air. Third close runs the Vindication Guard warriors at the chanter's magic forms its way into their minds, blinding them. The rage. Hold positions, which is not going to work when they are enraged. Keep to the path. An uncanny trail, but the soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus, roaring challenges. No, don't engage them, we need to run! Oh, my little one is actually running into combat. Didn't I just thunder you? Yes, but I kinda missed it now. And blood you have to knock your target prone. Why do you disengage for that? Pretty sure that's a close quarters combat attack, isn't it? And for some reason that didn't. Yeah, we are not really the most healthy, aren't we? Okay, let's try for the thunder again. I mean, we could use healing options, but who uses that in tutorial? Well, that doesn't mean you can't die, I suppose. Prison runner, come quick, we have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander. Yes, we know. We have been there. I've seen it. People. Symbol of the Scarlet Chorus is smeared in blood on the dead cloth tent. Effort has been made to repair the gaping tears.
I got it.
Join your party. Versus capable warriors. Skilled in both melee and range combat as your companions will need to balance their strength against the strength of your character to be successful. To adventure alone, you will find the game more rewarding with not just more rewarding, but generally far easier. I'm not a fan of the lone wolf idea. Implement directly or enable the AI. Interact the AI button. You can see the AI settings for party members. Okay. Will attack anyone who attacks a member of the party, but will not seek or target. Default will use widest range of. At some point, I would kinda like to fine-tune that behavior a bit. So, guys, bleach by the sun. Let's see. Only heraldry with Scarlet Chorus needs. Soon her pass again with a card.
Can't do that.
You can
Sorry,
and you will
I can't.
do whatever I tell you, believe you me. Well, since we are still a very much
Can't do that.
athletic person, I suppose we will have no problem doing the same thing again with that guy. Only with this scratched out iron disfavored. Lost history, Raven Usher has never ordered a replacement, preferring the blasted icon of all others. Oh yeah, the disfavored use their old icon just scratched out. Basically. Show your weapons. We find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine down below. With a perceptuous drop and a band of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker holds a disfavored officer at knife point. Secure aim, worry not for me. Graven Arch will protect. But are not protected by Arcane Graven Arch mystical eagles, and many will attest that it allows disfavor to endure truly staggering punishment. Oh, there are no documented cases of a disfavored surviving decapitation, being sliced in half, or otherwise fatal doses of trauma. That indicated agent will save justice from his neck. Yeah, I would also kind of doubt that if Raven Ash would be so bloody powerful, I don't think we would have a war going on any longer. We would have a slaughter. Third Officer Winsons, blood seeping from the seams of his braces and cuirass. Gentlemen, he plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are we waiting for? Mission from your pimp? Mocking Blaze is a very fitting name for that guy. This blade? Joke of the knife. He slices off a clump of Justice's muttered hair. You're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. I mean, again, main or favor with every button. Attack with trap Justice, disfavored, gain minor favor, gain minor wrath. Make you hit Justice, let him die, minor favor, gain minor wrath. Okay, I guess we're gonna attack him. You Justice, let him die! Yes, let's see Raven Ash protect him. Bertrand does milks, making slicing gestures with her hand across the neck. Errol dishes the blade across Justice's throat. Blood gushes out from the commander's neck, drowning out his final words. Her points the bloody knife toward you. Death to Kairos! Death to the Archons! The more Justice body falls to the ground, the disfavored soldier pounds forward, quickly reducing the Oathbreaker to a bloody mess. I mean, you know, death will be a setback. He was a fine steward of his steadfast. Rosvalos had a burst in anger. With the losses we've sustained in this war, the next command, I will aspire to be half the leader Justice was. If every following leader only aspires to be half the leader that his predecessor was, at some point you're gonna end up with a real problem. Why don't you try to be double the leader he was? Also, do try to not get your neck cut open. That would be a good start. One of the soldiers found some mage leather on the Oathbreakers, outside a long sheet of parchment, which, being trained in letters, could perhaps stone with papers. Face blushing and quickly thrust the sheaf towards you. Literacy is rare in the Northern Empire, where it's favored born and trained. Time spent reading writing is, after all, time not spent sparing and readying one's body and mind for battle. All that training nobody told you to read. I was too busy learning not to ask rude questions. Good point. Examine the parchment. Repeating the same messages in different written scripts, the parchment explained the regards to the nature of Sarkans and route their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms. Here's a training as well. Silver, Epic, Starwood, and Haven, a collective financing realms. Recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traitors to this fight. Like the other groups, trying to flee the valley. We can rest. No, we stopped this group. Shame it's at a high cost. Yakats are expecting you at a disfavored war camp. You're ready to leave, exit by the opposite gate and keep going. Are you sure? Are you sure indeed? Alright, there's a lot I suppose we will have to learn. First, taking stuff.
Sorry, I can't.
You can and you will. Believe you me, you will. Now, climb the rope.
See that?
So, now I do. Now we can go up there from the front side, but that's not going to help much. The prisoner is from the Tarkus clan, and he's not just any old prey, he's one of their leaders. Determined by dragging a hand across their neck, no mercy for those who foment rebellion. When the posters ring up, if Swins don't kill him, their starvation and infection will do the rest. Yeah, they will. Let's hope that thirst and starvation actually get going first, because infection is a really nasty way to die. Quite painful, I heard. Must give the vanquished enemy a chance to serve. That is Allah. Finally, with recognition, if your presence the charge points your way, just ask the governor here. You understand the wisdom of the Scarlet Chorus. The Overlord does not wish to rule over a ruined crater. We must conquer. If we show no mercy, we will have conquered a mountainous stretch of nothing. Mocking Blaze stops mocking just to be like an ass kisser. But I mean, as long as he's kissing my ass, I'm in favor. Tired of this nonsense. You keep recruiting the Oathbreakers and you fail to inflict order, and they defect. You have to fight them all over again. Do not let another one of these shell snubs come back to haunt us. One of this will be taken to the voice of Nomad, leaving us at an impasse. Fortunately, we have a fate bind here to settle the matter for us. Yeah. Pregnant smile. So, what say you? I mean, that's pretty damn obvious at this point, isn't it? Because should be allowed its chance to recruit new warriors. Disfavored gain average dwarf. Scarlet Chorus gain average favor. That's how we wish it. The prisoner will go to Scarlet Chorus, but mark my words. Treating this curse with kindness has been and continues to be a mistake. Proclaim your honors. I'm sure this one won't be put on the battlefield. Rich snaps her fingers loudly, gesturing for a king to listen. Make sure the prisoner is taken straight to the voices of Narad. Well, that's a destiny. Next time, Fatbender. Now you have important business in the valley. No point in keeping you. She snaps to a salute. Full glory of Kairos. And we are a very busy lot. We are only gonna get busier. Now then, inventory. I have a party stash. Now I have my little edict. If Ascension Horn has not been taken by my forces before morning on the Day of Swords, all in the valley when this edict is passed will perish. Which is great because we are in this bloody valley too. Which apparently Eris doesn't really give a shit about. Honor Guards Bronze Falx. Hey, that's actually a two-handed weapon. And it's pretty better than what I have. Should be the same damage type, shouldn't it? Slash, right? Yeah, it is. One soldier's javelin. Slash crush armor, +1 armor, -2 PS fire, +4% affection. Yeah, I'm kind of aiming for some medium armor, I think. Basically secondary tank kind of format. Scarlet Fury Helm. That kind of looks like it's not meant for me now, is it? Quick finger bangles haste. No matter how fast they move, these bangles never make a sound. What did you find? Nice. Nice indeed. Let us take a look at you. You have what spear? Enraged affliction for 120 +4 might, lesser healing potion, and scarlet poison. Okay, that's probably something I want to save for later. Actually, do you have? Yeah, you have healing potions too. I mean, you can wear my ceremonial fightbinder armor, apparently, which is actually not bad, comparatively speaking. How would that look on you? Not bad, actually. Heavy bronze grievous. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna help. I have something from that? No. Too heavy for my taste. And here. Yep, that kind of seems like it is supposed to be on your head.
Yes.
Beatbinder for honor to Nocturnal's court visit. A humble holdfast. Need supplies? Question mark. Post trade. That's a very good question. Oh, as I was posting, no profit up here in the pass. It's bronze orders. We patch out of the valley. I'm back on my old schedule, and here's hoping this year is a good one. The overload forbids the exhaustion of the pathways. Good thing too, cause in years past, I'd lose most of my plots to tolls. Couldn't turn a copper if I tried to haul long distance. Just some kind of proper stewardship of the goods you're peddling. Yeah, well, you see, Fatebanner. I think so. I've been handed these bits of scraps. Provisions to snatch a scroll case. But a woman of letters. Numbers are my strength. We've been well matched. Well, let me see those. Certainly, good Fatebanner. The reading indicates this mission is granted the unlimited right to trade in a logistical capacity. You're not supporting initiative village, you have the right to trade grain, copper, and olives anywhere in the tiers. Where did you get these? Hachi and Bronx acquired these on my behalf from Argentunan's agents, I believe. Well, it actually seems quite literally in order. Let's see what you have. I mean, I'm not gonna fall as bloody freaking low as, you know, in some poor merchant or right, just because she can't read. No reason to be an asshole. I mean, not that much of an asshole, that is. Everything with a bit of sense. Your rival pleases our master. Well, that's very nice. Well, somewhat, I'd say. Now then, I think actually we will not have enough subterfuge. No. Actually, is the game counting your subterfuge too? Probably it is, isn't it? Also, I should probably kind of decide on how I want to make most use of her. Do I want to have verse a bit on the dual wielding side or more on the background bow side? Actually, good question. Oh, excuse me. So let's talk.
Need to talk? I suppose I can give you a moment of my time.
I wasn't asking. I was just going to talk to you. Process your arms and regards you with curiosity.
What do you need?
You learned a thing or two about fighting in Scarlet Cross. Care to duel?
Fatebinder, I treat my craft like my mother treated her hagsberry pie. I don't give the recipe to just anyone. Come to think of it, I still don't know what was in that damn pie.
That's typical. Mothers, believe me, they knew some magic. What do you think of those who defy Kara's authority? Yes, we can either fight or submit to Kara's peace, and only one of those options captures my interest. I suppose I appreciate when they go down fighting. Said it otherwise, I would need to find another excuse to flay them. You need to understand. Whether unified the tears under a shared banner or at the bottom of a mass grave makes little difference to you, me, or Kairos. Well, no, it makes a difference to me and you, because we have to do the whole nasty part of creating that mass grave. Kairos, however, he doesn't give a shit. That's an interesting view of conquest. A pragmatic one. Pragmatic indeed. According to the idea at the beginning of the campaign, if no one objects that we are here to have a bloody pass for gaining amusement, well, of course, that is our purpose. Besides, unification is such a vague concept that Kairos allows the disfavored and he goes to treat it as they will. So what is concerned with results? I'm a bit focused on the details, especially if that means cutting off a farmer's legs while his family watches their land burn. Interesting. I mean, I guess no shame in taking pleasure in your work. You know, I'm very forgiving when it comes to my team. My comrades are always in good hands. No, there isn't. I expect that we're going to make something great together. I know body switching as fast the old wars. It's going to be beautiful. You fight in any notable battles? Spent some time in Azure. That's the end of the war. Beastman ripped my unit apart. They might be working under Cairns orders, but we never found out for sure. Great thoughts on this favorites. One of self-entitled children so wound up in illusions of honor, they are likely to hang themselves by their own high standards. Oh boy, wish they had stayed in the Northern Empire where they belong. I could get some real work done in the tiers. Any thoughts on their battle strategies? The phalanx maneuver. Formation built on holding still, moving forward slowly, and hoping no one slips in the mud. First, the enemy knows what to expect out of them. Now the Furies are dancers. We are the muse of battle, organize ourselves into works of killing art. It is as hot and passionate as the last. No room for stale routine. Basically, you could replace battle with, you know, fucking, and you would still have the very same saying, and it would still sound pretty accurate. Do you think the disfavored have a chance to succeed? One of the explanation most of the tier mans are pushovers. The people of Star Wars seem capable enough. No, but now it's one of the disfavored's best challenge. Even if they succeed, it might be too late to redeem themselves. The currents have already impacted the conquest more than disfavored have, or likely ever will. To think of the leader. I've seen enough of the time-minded braggart to know that he's all duty. Nothing but a charismatic broad-shouldered scarecrow. Nice. Calls himself the Archon of War, though, by the way he starts his forces waiting for a better strategy to present itself. I think he's afraid of battle. Get someone more. They would take Ash's mantle from him, but the Disfavored have their cult of personality built around their great general. Yes, he can do no wrong. Kinda. That's kinda what happens sometimes. But you have a better idea how to handle Disfavored forces? Of course I do. Babying the troops. Pain is a lesson best learned early. When the locals bolster the front lines. Then I'd leave any misplaced FX back in the Northern Empire. I don't have Carol's campaign anyway, so fuck them. Okay. Excellent. You would make them more like the Skilled Corps. Which is precisely what it is. Move itself in ways that is disfavored. And on the other side, the disfavored are actually accountable in a way that the Corps are not. Definitively not. But oh well. No reason to talk about it, we already decided on our side. Strong fight. Yeah, sure. Reigning bloodline. Shorter teeth. Disfavored need a Corps to show them the way. Who would you see take his place? Until that amongst themselves. Is the aging figurehead. Right, so that needs to grow pair, kill the old man. Kick his cane out from under him. Remind the Legion what strength looks like. I don't think that's a good idea because the set cane in this case is a giant war thing, mace or something that he has with him. If you try to kick that from under him, he's probably going to hit back hard. That's gonna hurt. The voices of Noir changes. He's a multifaceted gem. It's because there's a reflection of their beauty. Whereas I would like down the voices, any of us would follow them in a heartbeat. What about Ash's connection to his troops? The Raven Ash protects. Shall keep harping on those words like they mean something. I don't know if it can take a few extra lumps on the battlefield, but it only speaks to their thick-headedness. Only two because will place that much trust in it. In the power of suggestion to do stranger things to people. Could that be possible? With centuries old and with glowing armor. You tell me. Good point. Then we would die with the Scarlet Chorus.
The Scarlet Chorus is mostly for madmen and peasants with rusty daggers, but it's also
so I've heard.
niche of freedom that I never had. Once I survived training and met my Scarlet Fury sisters, I saw a different side of the howling mob.
So who are these Scarlet Chorus leaders? Voice of Noir is the spider. Center of that particular net. Interesting point, but I don't think Kairos is gonna be nice and willing to be like, oh sure, you're just lending me your army. Pretty sure worst case scenario, Kairos is gonna crush that little spider. Easily enough. There's some offshoots of the voices, like the fifth die. Once we get down to rank and fire, Scarecrows organize around a motley bunch of gang bosses with call the shots. What do you want to know? Give me all the gang bosses. Who can rally enough support to kill the previous boss? Good. And Tipcap leads the Fafilams, Locks leads the Rusted Herbs, Sharp used to lead the Bone Boys, couldn't say where he ended up after they broke his legs. Waterwheel orders around the Hairy Hunters, holds for shit, leads the Lazy Malkins, and Scurvy Queen, Fingerfood, and Wildgearge collectively lead the Ladies of Perpetual Strangulation. Some interesting titles you've got, huh? Forgetting at least a dozen more. I've even led a gang or two in my day. And never survived for long, so no point in getting attached. You led a gang. I can crack a whip better than any of those daisies at those favorite labor camps. Oh, struggle with those grandsons perhaps in the middle. Top like an apex predator. Here I am. So, you're the apex predator. If I kill you, I'm the new apex predator. Hold still while I ready my forks. Tell me about the fifth eye. Walking Nightmare, that one. Couldn't begin to guess who lives under that armor and speaks with that 3D voice. But tell you what I know. The world is built on secrets, it pays to have a few extra eyes. The voice of Rod has eyes in abundance, some that he keeps close and others that he sends out in the wilderness. But the fifth eye was before I came into the Archon's service, now it's just a half-mad, a gibbering speech hole. Bodily function, in other words, an eye. How many eyes then does he have? Keeps changing, eh? Oh. 3, 7, 19, some even say that all of us are eyes and we don't even know it. It's one of those questions that drives you mad if you allow yourself to think about it for too long. Hey, you could be one of Tunor's eyes. Bet you never thought of that. No, I'm quite literally one of Tunor's eyes. I'm his fucking fate binder. I'm not only his eyes, I'm his ears, I'm his fucking voice. Because I'm speaking, doing things with his authority there, here now. Not really a question, I thought about it long and hard, bitch. Wait, in his eyes, the people. Well, yeah. Used to be people, more likely. Cut out all the extra parts. You know, the voices of Narat sounds like a very nice boss to have around. I'm totally not regretting my decision. I once heard the voice in the fifth eye intend together. The voices keep screaming, redundancies, redundancies. Every time another gout of blood would spray on the canvas walls. Can't even guess what she was cutting out. Let us not think about that too much, eh? What makes the voices of Narat so powerful? He's the Archon of Secrets, and he didn't know that title lightly. People say that he knows more than every sage and tears combined. You can think 1,000 steps ahead of the other Archons. You know, he's your direct supervisor and stuff, but, you know, woman, if he were that much greater than everybody else, he would stand atop everybody else. He's never alone unless approving him of his. If you execute the business, I guess having people constantly whisper in your ear is a good thing. Tell me about the voices. Batman, well, pretty obvious. You know, they get the voices bad side, people who cross him, or just people in meets don't tend to survive the experience. Oh well. Seems disorganized or lost because he's channeling one of the personalities he's evolved over the years. Mannerisms shift over the to someone else, someone who's probably long since dead. Better to die than become part of the voices. As raw power, you can't begin to understand the voice of not steals the minds and knowledge of his victims. Guess that he has. It's from this ability beyond his apparent madness is anyone's guess. You know, better than to ask him about it directly. No, I actually would probably do just that. Ooh, are your sisters? Ooh. They would have been more appropriate. 3 whispers, red gaze here, and seeking sheath. Best fighters ever met. Oh, I couldn't take down together, but they're dead, so you met your master, didn't you? Fighting styles complemented perfectly, so we divided up the killing work like bards showing a song. At least we used to. Brandon's solemn salute. Tell me about 3 whispers. She was as calm as the surface of a pound and light on her feet. But were tripped and fell on their own blade to Whisper's crafty footwork. That's actually impressive. One woman siegebreaker. She would launch herself at the foes like a battering ram. But even his favorite phalanx could have withstood that dumb suicidal wench. Kara's eyes. But she was something to behold. Think about seeking sheath. A good boss spear through 12 rings from the far side of the battlefield. Impressive. If Obo approached her marching single file, she made a game of splitting as many soldiers as possible on the same javelin. Impressive. So, who murdered? It's well doing siege back when we are suspected the guard of organizing secret. Came upon a group of them. Guess not, maybe they found us. No one said anything. We drew iron and bronze. Everything went wrong. We took point of behind the guard with the dance of blade work. Something disorientating. Suspected marks. I hesitated. I lost my nerve. Rushing the oathbreakers, I froze with my weapon around. About me. You're off balance. Oh shit. Did that. I lived. Mrs. was relying on me to lead the dance, and I failed them. Actions were an excuse of your station. You're absolutely right. I know him. Name said so. I had witnessed the same one of my sisters. I might kill her for her, and then you join the rest of us. But they didn't get a chance. Station is a rot. Some company court member. Cut it from her body and cauterize the wounds if one I knew its source. Maybe there was a reason for that.
What do you need to know?
Tell me about your training then.
For new recruits shoved to the front lines, training means surviving the first battle.
What a waste of good recruits.
Anything beyond that is for the fighters who show potential, whether as blade dancers or arcane madmen. There's nothing in the world like getting put through the paces as a Scarlet Fury. Every day is a test of your commitment and passion. Failure means death. The first few weeks were the hardest, but also the most rewarding. I earned my name, picked up some quality weapons, and met my sisters.
Well, they tell me about weapons kit. I was a kid, didn't take me to it, it was natural. Pick up a rusty kitchen knife and secure a rat from across the room. Impressive. Now, of course, give me a chance to further educate myself. I says I was a bit surprised by how quickly it took to different fighting styles. You earned your name. From the tears would name a child verse. Just with my old village. Most of them walking around with terms like barrel or fish. Well, it's kind of fitting. Not the most creative bunch. Take your name away. 100% you are, and you earn back a name through great deeds. Usually murderous ones. That's why you see Roman walking around with names like Stinkmouse or Face First. Probably a good reason for it. Give me this name. Battle, he doesn't hear war, he hears a symphony. He told me that the music that's louder than anyone else and contains so many parts, easily defined. Well, he is the Archon of Secrets, I guess. He can be charming. What's your real name? Look for a collection of letters and... Obermeister let me so not that long ago, I suppose. Tell me about Scarlet Furies.
The elite fighters of the Scarlet Chorus. Your typical Horde recruit fights with a rusty spoon and a chip on his shoulder, but the Scarlet Furies are, well, different.
So you're almost soldiers.
We focus our madness. We coordinate, we kill, we dance.
See, you're almost a soldier.
Imagine a sculpture that twisted in weird, beautiful angles. And then
sorry, I'm not for modern art. I can't work with that. Sorry, really sorry, but you know, sounds wonderful then again. Yeah.
It is, as I remind myself all the
You're
time.
my companion, you're gonna be
The most important day
much
of my
beloved.
life was when the voices of Nerat recognized my potential and sent me to Scarlet Fury training. What do you need to know?
Before you hesitated when you brought up your fighting styles. Why? Noticed that, did you? It's a method I'm not used to discussing. That's because I don't know how. Much before that, I would pick up different weapons and fighting techniques. The truth is, I'm better than good. I could flay a man so cleanly that I'd leave a single strip of skin. But, wouldn't even need to be tied down. One of the first things I discovered about myself after joining the Scarlet Chorus was a Naruto recognized it in me as well. That's why he singled me out for Scarlet Fury training. Go on. This were the masters of the fighting forms, but since they died, my style has changed, almost like kill as they did. Pick up a bow, a lance, anything really. Just so much pieces with a weapon that I only watched my sisters use. Fascinating.
What do you need to know?
How is it that you picked up your father's sister's weapon skills? Still don't have an explanation. 2 ideas. Just sort of link. It's how we coordinate or dance. Don't pass matches of female emotions and intentions. Sync up. Were you grouped because of your compatibilities? This create as many differences as similarities. See what if I fit a connection keenly. Yikes. Well, they slammed in your bed, is basically what you're trying to say. You should exploit that. There is an advantage to it, a pretty damn obvious one. Tell me something about yourself.
If you insist. I'm a Scarlet Fury. That should raise some flags for you. It means that I'm good at killing,
Yeah, we got that
more
point.
importantly, that I enjoy it.
For bloody 20 minutes or so, you have pretty much done nothing else but kinda illustrate that point.
What I won't enjoy are the pleasures of funerary rites packed with weeping mourners. Someday I'll fall in battle, and then they'll roll me into a mass grave or heap me atop a shit-stained wagon. One more anonymous, knife-riddled piece of meat.
Well, yeah, that's pretty damn unromantic, but that's how we all at some point gonna end. I mean, in this
Until
world.
then, I plan to take whatever I can from life and have a little fun along the way.
Well, what's the significance of your feathers? Being awfully chummy, so I guess you deserve a story. The messenger bird, Weatherbeak. Angry old bastard, smiled from living the high life. Squawked in my window every single night. Pecked my fingers when I fed him only the fat as juicy as mice. Left to farm the giant's carrier around that ungrateful little fucker like a dish rag. Tucked his feathers and gave his carcass to the mice. It felt like justice. My curly feathers catch the breeze. Helps me keep my balance, especially when I'm moving fast. How did you get conscripted? You get the wrong idea about me. You course didn't take me as a sopping maid. Got into the camp and enlisted. Some tossed me a dented blade. I lived through. Initiation, spent a week butchering my neighbors, and moved on with my new kin. Didn't waste time with goodbyes. They long since died, and the rest of my family were losers. Where used to be, even she knew that she was worth more than all of them combined. Arrogance? You should think so, and end up somewhere other than Kara's army? It's a life question. Kara's is everywhere. Can't hear the words army, you're being trampled by it. Leave it on a family farm until my maturing years, married some dote and littered him a nursery of squealing piglets. Return to pieces by smaller versions of me sounds like fun. Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that women have been doing that for bloody forever, there must be some fun in that. Oh yeah, there's the whole fucky part before. That's kind of fun. One day when I said enough is enough, I'd slit my husband's throat over breakfast and run off to join the chorus anyway. My way saved a lot of time. I guess. You're a killer. Better stick with the chorus. Life is too short to repress every desire. Yeah, but if we don't, you know, repress our desires, we kinda end up as animals, which is a bit of a problem. Tell me about your life before the chorus then. Let's see if you talk now. There was some girl in the farm wearing my face and took with my voice. She would sneak out at night, take a skate, and have some fun with the livestock. That interest began and ended there. Cars trapped through my village on their long trek from the bastard city that was when I finally woke up. I took revenge on anyone who wronged me and found freedom. Nice, freedom. That sounds good. When I successful farm, I walked years before I found the chorus. She was a hard, bitter woman. Just like the world owed her something. Although, merchant, eh? You don't say. Are you a spy for the voices of Marat? The mismatched eyes look at each of yours in turn. I mean, does it matter? If just said for yourself was not worth trusting. Oh, I will, don't worry. Well, yeah, I kinda get ya. Kinda figured you would do that. It's all about your combat abilities.
Do you now? Call me intrigued. You already know that I memorized the moves of my Scarlet Fury sisters. If it seems like a total mystery to me, I don't know how you could have arrived at any conclusions, but I'm open to ideas.
Hardly, I'm missing either law or subterfuge to do it, so I think you're just a damn good fighter.
Shucks. You know just what to tell a girl, don't you?
Yes, I get them all wet and
I'll thank you
hot
to
and
spare
bothered
me
and
the
stuff.
empty compliments.
Forget it. I will admit you had a lot to say. Do you still have...
Fatefinder. Always a pleasure. What do you need?
Hardly, I'm a pleasing sight. Wee! Wee! The good thing is we still have no time limit set, so we can run around as much as we bloody want. And talking with our little comrades, for as much as we want. Without much of problems. Because you're going to relieve the card, otherwise we see your worse. Hail Fatebinder, favored scout, once you approach. Games are not by that, don't mind us. Just clearing out rebel. And what I've done to defend. Expected these are now disfavored lands. I need to give the Legion a proper toll. Just gonna want a trading price. Nonsense is that I'm not allowed to trade one thing for another. It's not like I'm selling weapons to angry peasants or anything of the sort. You're on his favorite land, either have every right to kill you, you should be more thankful. Your overlord regulates all trade. He does. How was I? I mean, I don't want to speak for such a thing. Well, that's not our problem. Okay. Yeah, go to Tunon. Anything to be added for Tunon may be argued before me. I mean, it's a point, I'm technically speaking, you know. Afraid maybe just to weigh in on the matter. Courtesy demands we listen. And I know the agents of the court do so love to throw their judgments around. Well, yeah, if you do know that, then, you know. These are essential goods to the world for. We should leave the supplier intact. Just no permits you, allowing this low one wretch to profit when you should toil like any other. Are you questioning my judgment? You have the right to step in when you disagree to currents, but this food is not sworn to anarchy and there's no protection. I want to have it your effect, but this isn't worth it. Court summons from Tuna. Thanks. The house is going to be robbed. And here is what this servant would thank me for trying to bring in fresh provisions. I'll be sure to keep my head down. Don't make any waves. Yeah, I'm going to piss off. So, saving height was worth... One good deed deserves another. Take it, you and change your luck again. Well, what do you want to know? So, well, I can't help but feel I'm only hearing out the story, so let's hear it. What's so special about you? You mean, apart from the fact that I just listened 20 minutes to you rambling about your nonsense? What else has the person I told you? Why so suspicious? Just a feeling it. I think the actions are at odds. Tell that brave national shed some bad blood in the Northern Empire. It's absurd. I'm gonna put behind him the unfit to command. First, gain your share. The ashes will fall in line. Sounds like the attitude to set this companion in the right direction. Take some bloody balls to even say that, but I don't know. I'm here to deliver an edict. Yeah, Hans must claim Ascension Hall by the safe side will perish. Let us go, my little friend. I mean, you kinda already gave that away. You don't like that it's favored, and then this one run, we don't like that it's favored either. Don't worry. A brave place before you. A better sword has been used as marker. They shall be deeply engraved into the iron.
A modest grave for the Archon's son, Brennix. We don't bother with funeral rites in the chorus. No point in thanking conscripts for their duty.
Yeah, I mean, they're conscripts. They didn't do their duty rather freely, so really no reason. Oh, do you have anything else to say? That's fine. Cool batch. Interesting. Stance. Seeking Sheaf. Plus 10 accuracy. And we can't really go anywhere else. Well, I guess not. Well, I guess indeed not. Open sesame. You approach this favorite ground. State your business. I am Junon's Fatebender. Stand aside. I'm expected. I'm the fire starter. Yay! Well, yeah. Was quite fun to do. Hey to you, Guardian of the Law. Dum dum dum. You don't see many merchants here, eh? Wink wink. The largest crate. Open it now. I mean, come on. Small little thing, a bit of, you know, testing the flexibility of my hands, basically. Nothing more. As usual, being honest but not overly honest is the way to go. Crescent Runner here. Anything to say? No? The bad Crescent Runner. Nothing even to say. Glory to the voices of Narat. Fate being their pleasure and pursue. A bit of whip. The emissary of discovered Kuros. Sounds like working with the disfavored. Of course. Putting on hack is an insult. One rule for a title. 1. Leadership must be continuously proven, earned, and defended. Yeah, that's an insult. You can tell me about discovered corners. Sounds like you really like the voices of Murat. What is your role? Blood Chanter. How did you come to join? Tell me about the voices. Yeah, sounds quite horrible. I got into craft. Why not forge bronze? Smith churn out military grade bronze consistently. Well, I mean, you know, it is cheaper and easier to work with. Such a needle may be a backbone, but a claws are made of iron. Ancient iron shortage. Last shipment sent down the Matani went missing. But iron is to known's responsibility. Why is this the first I'm hearing of it? Well, shit. They get their hands on it, that is not good. If I find it, I look at it. I'm here to help, even if it means cleaning up his mess. I mean, come on, you lost a whole bloody shipload of iron, you idiots. I mean, you know, from soldier to soldier. So basically you ended up in this position because, well, you're good at what you're doing. That sucks. You're good at something, but it's not your, you know, preferred skill. You kinda end up in a very bad position. Now, we all know that they're in there. Oh shit, I could have rested up here for free. Would have made my little adventure last time a lot shorter. And who's here? This is Marcus. I'm the Fatebinder indeed. Okay, we can train up. Yes, I remember that somewhat. What can you train me in? 100 and 200 weapons? Nice. Very nice indeed. Except with the disfavored army of us. Boast so much honor. Why are they disfavored? Well, basically nobody wants to tell me. Oh, have your skills fared in battle against the Oathbreakers? Tell me more about yourself. Yeah, Anis lifts up a heavy shield, and I do this. She mockingly steps at the edge of his spear. Playing host is not my strong suit. I have a bit of a talent as an humoristic sidekick, maybe. The problem is then when somebody in the phalanx would die, that's not gonna make them look out. They may need with a weapon. Tell me about yourself, Marcus. Soldier, do you always stand at ease in the presence of a high officer? No, ma'am. Just, I wasn't briefed on the chain of command. The report to the Fatebinder now. Yeah, Marshal say that two Lord's agents can intercede if there's a dispute. It sounds pretty authoritative to me. Kind of. Sweet. Hail Fatebinder. Hail indeed. Hail me all you want.
You learn something every day.
Well, apparently I do. I just leveled up. That means we can finally spend our first point. Now then, there are things that are pretty damn obvious choices for us, like power. Paul performs checks to roughing them, pushing them back, and silencing them from spellcasting. It sounds nice, but palm strike sounds unarmed, and I'm not an unarmed fighter. Stand splits, requirements with students that focus on rapid strikes. Mighty. Powerful choice. Penetrative force armor. Force two-handed mastery. Which with 200 melee weapons and allows basic attacks to strike multiple times. Nice. That sounds precisely like the sort of thing I want to have. There's stuff like leadership, but that requires level 3. It's a defensive bonus to you and enable party members when the thrust ability is used. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna invest in some leadership, I can already tell ya. Undying. Plant your banner on the battlefield. You and your party members need a banner, regenerate health, and receive a bonus to damage. That sounds fucking amazing. That sounds really like a paladin, doesn't it? Quite fitting, considering that I'm a bit of a buffing paladin in Pillars of Eternity too. Deliver powerful upward blow that launches the target into the air. That's not a skull cracker, that's a jaw breaker, I would say. But for the moment, since this all starts at level 3, the earliest, I guess we can invest here. Focused strike to make my thrust better. Or two-handed mastery. Honestly, two-handed mastery sounds like we can make a lot more use of that. Do you two have a point? Doesn't seem like it. And I have one attribute point. I mean, vitality would probably be nice to have, but for the moment I think I want to have might at least to 19 or 20, depending on what the bonuses give. And then honestly, maybe actually finesse wouldn't be bad, because finesse gives accuracy, and accuracy is a very useful thing to have. But for the moment, we shall become ever more powerful. Well, that was it. Level up bonus. Nice. Sadly, for the moment, I will have to take my next break, because I started a bit later than I had originally planned, sadly enough. Now I kinda have to pay the price for that. Delete. 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 New save file. Save. Can I actually name that one? I cannot. See? Oh, no, I can. Boop. Well then. For the moment, sadly enough, I shall have to bid you adieu. Have a good one. No one of that. Especially the always nice and present little sandwich bag. Quite the legend, isn't he? Oh, right, I can actually see what I'm doing. Breath. Nice. Scarlet Cross. When pressed by a face the attitude. Interesting, interesting. Well, but we shall see. Death from above. Nature adverse. Fury's Rage. Oh well, oh well. But tomorrow will be a bit of a different day, because I have to stay here and do some office nonsense. So if things go well, tomorrow we'll have either 2 streams or 1 long stream. Depends a bit on how things play out, but we shall see. And Friday will of course be Pillars of Eternity. As you all know, it's RPG Friday. Then again, that does not stop me from playing during the week now, does it? Ah well, ah well. Well, anything else I need to say? No, I don't think so. Then, once again, thanks very much for dropping by, little sandwich bag. Always nice to have you around, and have a good one, you in particular. Everybody else, of course, too. And, yeah, I guess bye-bye is it for now, and we shall return and continue playing this. Now I have found my way to go. We shall see where that leads. Oh boy. Bye-bye.